Previously functioning as the regulatory division of the South African Bureau of Standards, the NRCS, the National Regulator for Compulsory Specifications, was established in 2008 as an independent organization. The mandate of the NRCS is to protect the health and safety of consumers and the environment while ensuring fair trade. It does this by creating an awareness of compulsory specifications to the public and ensuring that these requirements are understood and implemented by manufacturers, service providers, and the import and export industries. It also protects the consumer by inspecting products and services, making sure that they meet all technical requirements and may only then be sold in the marketplace. By ensuring that our compulsory specifications are aligned with the world's best practice and WTO requirements, the NRCS assures our consumers of the highest levels of safety and allows South African industry to trade with confidence on the international market. The NRCS enforces minimum safety and environmental requirements across the industry spectrum, ranging from frozen marine products to electrical and automotive products and components, and from building construction materials to disinfectants and personal protective equipment. To ensure compliance, the NRCS may use various methods that include sampling, inspecting and testing of products, as well as auditing of manufacturing and other processes, as well as the examination of documentary evidence. These processes are aligned to meet world compulsory standards, are implemented by laboratories and other inspection schemes across the country and in some cases internationally. Once a product is approved, it may receive a letter of authority that allows it to be exported or offered for sale in South Africa. Where a product or service does not meet minimum standards, a variety of sanctions may be applied. This may include stopping the sale of non-conforming products to seizure, destruction, and prosecution of offenders. The Automotive Division derives its mandate from the National Regulator for Compulsory Specifications Act, Act 5 of 2008. In addition, the division is appointed by the National Department of Transport as the Inspectorate of Manufacturers, Importers and Builders of Motor Vehicles and Components of Motor Vehicles in terms of the National Road Traffic Act, Act 93 of 1996. The division has to ensure that all vehicles and vehicle components that fall within the domain of the Compulsory Specifications and National Road Traffic Act comply with all compulsory requirements before they are offered for sale in South Africa, as well as to ensure that vehicles and components continually comply with the legal requirements after initial approval of these vehicles and or components. The Electrotechnical Division is a market surveillance division within the NRCS, which enforces compulsory specifications spanning a wide spectrum of electrical and electronic products. The regulated products include household appliances such as heaters, refrigerators, television sets, plugs and adapters, electrical cables, lamps and circuit breakers. The electrotechnical business processes include the approval of products, market surveillance inspections, sampling products from the market, testing products at accredited third-party laboratories, and administering sanctions on non-compliant products. The Food and Associated Industries Division is dedicated to the protection of health and safety of consumers by administering compulsory specifications for canned and frozen fish, canned fishery products, and canned meat. The division administers various compulsory food specifications on behalf of the Minister of Trade and Industry in terms of the NRCS Act No. 5 of 2008. The division administers 7 compulsory specifications that are aligned with international guidelines and practices, as well as being harmonized with the standards and codes of practice of Codex Alimentarius. These compulsory specifications apply to all relevant products sold in South Africa, whether locally produced or imported, as well as South African exports to other countries. The objectives of the division are firstly, to protect the health and safety of the consumers. It also ensures compliance to food and associated regulations. The division is also tasked with assisting role players to comply with local and international regulatory requirements. And ultimately, it is responsible for promoting fair trade and protecting national and international markets. The inspection system of the Food and Associated Industries Department is based on monitoring and surveillance of factories, processes and products. FAI is recognized by EU authorities as the competent authority for the inspection and issue of health guarantees of fish or fishery products destined for Europe. The Chemical, Mechanical and Materials Division is responsible for the regulation of compulsory specifications that fall within the scope of industry sectors. Currently, this includes personal protective equipment, that would be safety footwear and respiratory protective devices, as well as flotation devices and swimming aids, firearms and shooting ranges, flame-producing devices, that would be paraffin stoves and heaters, and cigarette lighters, health-related products, which include microbiological safety cabinets and disinfectants, construction materials, such as cement and treated timber, and products that affect the environment, plastic carrier bags, and coal-burning stoves. The National Building Regulations Division is responsible for ensuring a uniform understanding and implementation of the building regulations and building standards in accordance with the National Building Regulations and Building Standards Act 103 of 1997. The objectives of the division are firstly, to administer the review board tribunals, where appeals arising from disputes between the public and local authorities on building plan approvals are heard and findings and decisions are made in line with the NBR and BS Act. It also provides technical advice and interpretation of the NBR and BS Act. Further to this, it will conduct investigations on building defects and perform architectural forensics as an impartial party. And finally, it serves to evaluate the qualifications of building control officers. The Legal Metrology Division is mandated to ensure that all consumers receive the correct measure, that is, amount or quantity of goods declared by an importer, manufacturer or retailer on a pre-package, or where a measuring instrument is used to conclude a transaction, that it remains accurate within prescribed limits of error. In short, both industry and consumers are protected, which ensures fair trade. Legal metrology is responsible for the implementation of the requirements of the Trade Metrology Act 1973 and regulations. NRCS, as regional legal metrology officers in all major South African cities, where staff at all offices is qualified to undertake inspections under the Trade Metrology Act. The Legal Metrology Division also administers a compulsory specification for the control of gaming devices and related apparatus. The compulsory specification sets compulsory requirements for safety, fairness, security, and reliability of gaming and bookmaking apparatus. It is appointed to perform these functions in terms of the National Gambling Act, Act No. 7 of 2004. All segments of society, from the consumer to the manufacturer, benefit from having the technical requirements of their products and services regulated. Firstly, the consumer is assured that the product is safe to use and will not impact negatively on his or her health. For the manufacturer, having compulsory specifications levels the playing field and eliminates unfair competition. It also encourages small and medium enterprises to achieve world compulsory standards for their products by aligning themselves with international norms. By drafting and administering technical regulations in accordance with world best practice and WTO principles, NRCS assists government to meet WTO obligations, providing a platform for South African products to compete fairly across the world. By the same token, the same regulations apply to products being imported into South Africa, once again ensuring the health and safety of our citizens. Finally, the NRCS regulations are designed to protect the environment from products and byproducts that may affect it negatively, with great emphasis being laid on conservation and the efficient use of energy across all industries. We are ensuring the survival of our planet and its resources for generations to come. By regulating industry and trade, the NRCS is committed to the care and safety of all its citizens, of industry, and to the economy of South Africa. However, it is reliant on the awareness of consumers, as well as small enterprises and industry as a whole, to contribute and participate in the process of developing new compulsory specifications and amendments and maintaining the acceptable standards. For more information on the NRCS, please view our website www.nrcs.org.za and contact us via our various branches throughout the country. Our headquarters is in Pretoria, but we also have regional offices in Cape Town, Durban, Port Elizabeth and Bloemfontein. You may also call us on 012 482 8700.